Good evening, everyone. I can hardly believe that it's been 14 years since I too graduated from Denver South High School and joined the class of 2008. Oof, oof. My name is Alfredo Reyes, and I am the son of Mexican farmers, Aurora Campuzano and Juventino Reyes. Losing them in 2020 and 2021, a year and 18 days apart, was by far the hardest experience of my life. I stand here in their honor, accompanied by their unconditional love and their legacy of fearlessness and resilience. My mama endured 3 open heart surgeries and countless cardiac interventions with nothing but grace and beauty, while my dad left everything he'd ever known behind in the family rancho at 18 years old because he was inspired by a better life for his future son, me. I dedicate this to them. I was born on the west side of Denver, and I'm currently the executive director of the Latino Cultural Arts Center. I was recently appointed by the mayor and approved by city council to serve on the Commission of Cultural Affairs. I am an uncle, a brother, a nephew, and on some occasions, the life of the party. I'm also a sun dancer, an artist, a community-engaged researcher, a philanthropist, and a proud greenhouse scholar. Welcome to Inspired 2022, folk. And share my personal and professional journey of how I came to find my way after college and where I am now. I want to share 2 key catalysts that fundamentally transformed who I am and who I continue to become. I have always been fascinated by time and memory, by how it feels as though the past is alive within and the future is just within our grasp. I can close my eyes and transport myself to the moment in May of 2012 when my name was read at graduation. I'm in the quad at Colorado College facing the majestic Pikes Peak, or Tava in the language of the Ute Nation, meaning mountain of the sun. I can hear the conch shell blown by my confidant, thanking the Creator for the privilege of being born in the United States of America and being the first to graduate from college. The transition from DPS to an elite liberal arts college was painful. I either felt that I was not good enough to be there or that I had to work even harder to prove that I was by taking on more responsibilities and losing myself in the process. I'm sure a lot of y'all can relate. That was until I learned to stop taking myself so seriously, to step out of my comfort zone and have fun. Slowly, I was learning that I was worthy of joy, of comfort, and of rest, that self-care was not selfish. Little did I know that this daring approach would take me to the edges of colonialism through the power of ceremony, what I would bear witness to the world as it existed before a state predicated on violence and genocide, a reality in which we belonged to the earth and cared for our mother nature, one in which we consciously moved with the rhythm of stars, the oceans, and the trees. The first catalyst was accepting an invitation by a medicine man from the Oglala Nation in Pine Ridge, South Dakota, to join him and his family a month after graduation to, quote, learn how to pray like an Indian. That summer, I participated in the Sundance, or Wiyang Yang Wachipi, a ceremony once outlawed about renewal, sacrifice, and love. After living on the res for 3 weeks and dancing, I learned about compassion for myself and others. I learned about humility and courage. I learned that freedom is on the other side of our fears. Through ceremony, I've come to learn that historical trauma can embed itself into our genetic material, but so too can the knowledge and solutions to the multi-front crises we face. We are all the inheritors of violence, of war, and poverty, but at the same time, wisdom, wealth, and hope. What this really means is that our loved ones live on through us, every generation before them. They see through our eyes and they love through our hearts. If our ancestors never gave up, no matter how bleak, neither can we. The best way to honor them is in healing and in learning how to thrive. Through this catalyst, I have learned that the answer to the problems we face lay within each and every single one of us. It rests on our ability to see difference as a point of engagement and exploration, rather than something that threatens us or divides us. This is where social innovation begins. The second catalyst is a lesson about leadership. As the first executive director of the Latino Cultural Arts Center, a project I conceptualized during my first master's at CU Boulder, I have learned that I don't have to know all the answers or do things perfectly on my own. Instead, a good leader surrounds themselves with exceptional people who counsel them and guide them through rigorous processes, whether it's about permitting, zoning, construction, solar energy, finances, fundraising, programs, everything. Great leaders model that taking risks and making mistakes are part of the process of striving for excellence and community building. They are not intimidated or threatened when others are shining. In not knowing all the answers, but in asking the right questions, I manifested the job of my dreams. I have the privilege of traveling the world as a cultural ambassador and social entrepreneur, and of building a cultural campus in my hometown. After my dad passed away, I flexed into my roots and embraced my grief by creating LCAC's Dead of the Dead program called Ofrendas. We combine teaching people about the ancient and contemporary traditions of altar making with conversations about mental health and of loss, of resilience. We piloted the program with $15,000 with virtual workshops and altar kits that people could set up in their homes through social distancing. After my mom followed, we received our largest grant to date of $203,000 for Ofrendas to operate in 3 schools and across the city through 2023. Over the last 3 years, I have been designing and remodeling 2 warehouses that will serve as community art space that were recently donated to LCAC and valued at $1.4 million. Through tireless networking that I learned at Inspire, I'm not gonna say how many years ago, but armed with networking, a bold vision, and having done my due diligence, I have leveraged close to $5 million towards the remodel, electrification, and acquisition of the land for what we are calling Las Bodegas, or the warehouses. Las Bodegas will be a catalyst that empowers the next generation of talented and inspiring storytellers. It will contribute to growing important sectors across Colorado's economy by making them more accessible and dynamic. Construction should begin sometime in 2023, and the doors will open in 2024. We nevertheless find ourselves in a deeply fractured society, living on a deeply damaged planet, urgently needing innovative approaches that combine art, culture, nature, engineering, and science to bring us together to heal ourselves, our communities, and the sacred resources and ecosystems that nourish us. Everything considered, I would argue that we have enough research to understand the compounding social crises that we face, along with plenty of solutions. What is lacking, however, is the political courage and the political imagination to find common ground. The future depends on all of us asking ourselves, what kind of ancestor will I become? What if this process of becoming across space, across time, across matter, emerged from a profound feeling and honor and devotion for the ground on which we all walk, and a sense that our destiny is entangled, that each of us holds an important perspective about the problem and a leadership role in responding to them. This is what Greenhouse Scholars prepared me to achieve, to be part of a globally minded community capable of taking the reins with dignity and with creativity. What inspires me is seeing and meeting all of you, So much brilliance and so much grit. I see rocket scientists, doctors, pharmacists, biologists, educators, community builders are coming together as greenhouse scholars to collectively solve the problems in our many and diverse communities is the future of the United States. I cannot wait to see what we accomplish. Thank you, and until next time. For the gram.